needs to meet those governance and compliance options for your company, depending on what governance your company is going to be taking on. Of course, the data classification is actually there to hide some of the sensitive information and to actually educate the users, and based on that to protect the company data itself, because this is something that you can actually access if you're the organization admin, and this is within your Atlassian administration part. What it actually does. So first of all, it creates the classification level. So we have options to create a new classification level or to actually use the template itself. With the template, it's easier. You have defined things such as highly confidential, confidential, internal, and the public data, and also the classification level that can have up to 10 levels themselves. So for today's video, I'm going to be using the template itself because it's much more easier. Of course, for you, it's going to be much more different. Now review each classification level and customize the name, definition, color, and other details actually you need. So if I close this here, what I can actually see that I have the defined classification levels in here. Now, I do have the other things as well, where I can define the sensitivity itself, where the sensitivity of 1 is defined as the highest and the 4 is defined as lowest. This is also when you're having the work item hierarchy in your Jira. Basically, the epic level is the highest level and the subtask is actually the lowest level in the hierarchy itself. Now, when we take a look at this highly restricted, when we actually click on it, we have some we have some overview, and also we have some of the details in here. So it's saying in here, if this data is used in unauthorized manner, it could result in reputational damage to the company, cause loss of trust with customers, and present other serious risks, such as the risk is the regulations themselves. As you can see from here, you can drag and drop these classification levels. So if I go from here and I try to move this up a bit, it seems I cannot really do it. Wait. Oh, interesting. And we have some of the statuses in here. We can actually see that all these statuses are in the drafted themselves. Options we have are to manage the settings. So if you actually take a look in here and manage the settings themselves, what we have is the default classification level for all Confluence apps in your organization. Now, for now, we don't have any of it, and for now, it's being set to have no classification whatsoever. Now, if you actually go back, we're getting back to our menu right here. And there is an option to actually publish all of the levels in here, because that is the status of draft, because it's not still taking the place. So that is one thing to understand in here. Now, one of the other things that we're actually having is this move option. Now we have this move option to actually go to move it down or move it up. So for example, if I'm moving to the top, now this seems that this top is now becoming the highest. The top one is the highest, and the one that is actually the lowest is basically the lowest itself. We're taking a look at the priorities themselves. That is how this hierarchy of the classification levels work. So we can edit this if we want to edit the level itself. So we can define what is it in here. So we have the highly restricted, the name of it. We can change the definition, and let's say the guidelines. Please make sure you are following all security guides. So So I want to update this, for example, and this is how it's actually going to look like. And we can see the guideline that has been defined here. We click on save, and what we do is we go for highly restricted, and for the details we can actually see it in here. I have published this so users can start classifying content in Confluence and Jira. Now the question is, if I go here, I first need to make sure that I am on the correct site in here, because if I'm not on the correct site, the data classifications are not going to be applied right there. So that is one thing to keep in mind. So let us go for this one, and we're actually looking for this right here. Let it log in first, and then we're going to move it from there. But overall, that is how you're actually classifying your data. If you're having some of the data that is highly classified right there, you can do it with the data classification itself. Now, it thing move space manager need. That is how it works on the Confluence side. That is how it works on the Jira side. All right. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.